Mark Henry coming out being the replacement, I did not really mind that much. I mean, it could have been Big Show. We got Big Show the next night on Raw anyway. But, it could have been worse, I guess. I mean, I would have liked if it was Bray Wyatt, but I guess they really have no plans of putting any championship on him at any point in the near future, unfortunately. And even if he was in there and he got eliminated, I would have been sick to my stomach if they put him in this matchup. In retrospect, considering how bad it would not have made him look good, especially coming off the loss to Ryback, or, he actually coming off the win against Ryback at Payback, which is funny. People have tweeted that out saying Bray Wyatt, beat Ryback at Payback only for Ryback to win a championship at the next pay-per-view. And that goes back to last year, too. Remember, Bray Wyatt was the one who beat Daniel Bryan clean 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring back at Royal Rumble 2014. 2 months later, Daniel Bryan wins the main event of WrestleMania and wins the championship. And then with Bray Wyatt, he lost to John Cena that night, and they never did that rematch. And I'm hoping we get that match at some point. We did get it on an episode of Raw a couple months ago. But other than that, we have not had a full-fledged feud between them. And I've talked about this before with RJ on WrestleRant Radio here on the show, that a feud between those guys, and I hate to get off topic, but I think a feud between Wyatt and Bryan in 2015 or next year, whenever Bryan's back, because it has been confirmed he will be back. He said that on the kickoff show in that Miz TV segment. I think I might have booked that. I made like a WrestleMania 32 dream card. I might have booked that. I might have taken it away. I'm not really sure now. I think I did, for the Intercontinental Championship, because Bryan, again, never lost the Intercontinental Championship, much like he did the World Championship, whatever. So when he comes back, he'll obviously be in the IC title picture. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm very excited to see him back in the ring at some point. But anyway, I feel like in his absence, Bray Wyatt can either beat Ryback for that championship, because again, Wyatt has a win over Ryback. So hopefully they can do that feud. I don't want to see him lose the title at the next pay-per-view. It looks like they're going through the direction of Ryback versus Big Show at the next pay-per-view, which is okay. Anything involving Big Show I'm not going to be excited for, but at least it's something new. It's not Big Show versus Sheamus, or Big Show versus Randy Orton, or Big Show versus John Cena, God forbid it, for the millionth time. At least it's something new, so I can appreciate that. But yeah, I think Bray Wyatt versus Daniel Bryan, because the first time around the feud was all about Bryan joining the Wyatt family. It was not about, a full-on feud. It wasn't like until like a week before the Royal Rumble that they really started feuding. Bryan broke away from the Wyatt family in mid-January 2014, and then they did the match between the two 2 weeks later at the pay-per-view, and that's where it got blown off. So I feel like if they were going to rekindle that rivalry, they can do it over the Intercontinental Championship. And Bryan, mind you, has never beaten Bray Wyatt in a one-on-one matchup. Maybe once or twice via DQ or something like that. But other than that, though, he's never beaten Bray Wyatt via pinfall. So that's a great story to tell. I'm a sucker for those kind of stories, and I feel like if they give the belt to Bray Wyatt at some point between now and WrestleMania, and I'm one of those people that always says I feel like Bray Wyatt is not a guy who needs a championship, but I feel like he deserves it. For all the stuff he's done in the last 2 years, including his NXT stuff and whatever else, the guy's a great talent. They're obviously they don't have any plans for him right now. I have no idea what he's going to do at the next pay-per-view. He just lost to Roman Reigns on Monday. He wasn't even at Elimination Chamber, so I have no idea what's next for him. But for a guy that really has no direction right now, I feel like giving him that championship and putting Daniel Bryan in chase mode in time for WrestleMania would be awesome. I felt like that's the direction they were going to go when I tweeted it out too, in that Wyatt could have been the mystery opponent, and if he did entered into that matchup and he did win the championship, it would have given away the plans that Rusev was going to be winning that championship. I don't think, because Rusev was out of the match, I don't even think he was going to win to begin with. I'm not really sure, but I feel like that was not the plan. I feel like either Ryback or Sheamus, they were going to go back between with, they went back and forth between those guys, and I was very happy to see Ryback win. But anyway, Bray Wyatt is a guy I could feel like if he had won that championship on Sunday, Daniel Bryan could have reluctantly presented him with that title and then kind of maybe attack. I don't think he could have attacked Bryan, considering he's not in the best of state of health right now. But at any point, at any stage, though, I feel like, going forward, when Bryan comes back and there was no timetable given for his return, it could be in a couple months, it could be next year. We really have no idea. He will be back, though, according to what he said on the kickoff show, which is great to hear. But anyway, as I said, an Intercontinental title feud between those guys in time for WrestleMania next April would be awesome. I feel like that would be something for Wyatt to do. And there's not many feuds for Wyatt left. I mean, I pitched this in a Bleacher Report article. A feud with him and Orton, I feel like is great, but I feel like they could do that at at SummerSlam and not WrestleMania. Maybe at WrestleMania, but what do you do with the guy in the meantime? Having him flounder and cut random promos and then lose to Roman Reigns on Raw, and all this other stuff is not going to do the guy any favors whatsoever. So I'm not a fan of that, but it is what it is. But like I said, looking forward to that. Hopefully, if it does come to fruition,